I think a number of things when I think about the Lord's Prayer, and in particular, give us today our daily bread. The first is that we're really to practice this prayer. This was not just the vibe of prayer. This is not just a kind of general direction for prayer. Ancient Jewish teachers like Jesus gave their disciples fixed prayers. We have several examples from the time of Jesus from other rabbis. The way he introduces it literally says, "Thusly you are to pray." And in Luke's version it says, "When you pray, say." This suggests that Jesus wasn't just giving a vibe of prayer, but the actual words he wanted his disciples to pray in a fixed form. And so it's been a part of my life to actually practice the Lord's Prayer, to say it and let it shape all of the prayers I might pray. And then as I think about this very special, challenging line, "Give us today our daily bread," I think that it conveys to me a sense of dependence, creaturely dependence. Give us today our daily bread. The word bread there obviously means all sustenance, because in the ancient world, bread was so important that it came to represent all of food. So if I invited you over to my place for a meal, I invited you to come break bread with me. That's what it meant in ancient times. And so this is a prayer that even celiacs can pray, because it's not really praying about bread at all. But the thing is, it asks us to think that everything comes from the hand of God. Bread actually comes from him. We are dependent on him, and we are one of the first cultures in all of world history that doesn't see this. We hardly ever see the seed sown, the farmers harvest, the manufacturers do the manufacturing, the distributors deliver, and some of us get home delivery and we don't even see the shopkeepers. So for us, food is like magic, it just appears. But the Lord's Prayer says, no, everything comes from the hand of God. It speaks of our dependence on him. Thirdly, this line speaks of a godly contentment. Not just dependence, because everything comes from God's hand, but a sense that all I need is daily bread. I don't need long-term investments, Lord. It's not give us today our best retirement package. It's just daily bread. And this harks back to a Jewish theme found in the Proverbs and elsewhere, where the faithful ask not for riches, nor for poverty, but just our daily bread. It's a way of saying, I'm going to be content, Lord, just to, live day by day by day. And in our grasping culture, where we are hardly satisfied with last year's things, we need this year's things. This is a really challenging part of Give Us Today Our Daily Bread, because we're saying, Lord, I'll be content just to be able to live through the day with a full belly, with clothes on my back, with a roof over my head, with friends. That's all I need, contentment. And finally, for me, the most challenging part of this line is that it speaks of compassion. This is not really a prayer for me directly. Do you notice it's give us our daily bread? The plural pronouns are incredibly important. The prayer is introduced by Jesus as a private prayer. Go into your room, singular, and pray. But the prayer we pray is actually our Father. Give us today our daily bread. This reminds us that this is a family prayer. This is not just a John Dickson prayer. I am praying for my brothers and sisters around the world. I'm praying for the whole world. And half of my brothers and sisters are poor. I mean, profoundly poor. And that means that when I utter the words, give us today our daily bread, I am not just saying, Lord, I want to get through this day with enough food in the belly. I'm trying to remind myself that this is a prayer for the human family, and in particular the Christian family, many of whom live in desperate poverty. Practice the Lord's Prayer. It speaks of dependence and contentment, and above all, of our compassion for those who struggle to have daily bread.